What is going on, traders, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. Glad to have you. Now in this video, we're going to be going over the watch list for the short trading week of December 20th, 2021. All right, let's get to it. Okay, I want to knock out a couple of things before we start the watch list. The first one is that Friday, December 24th, the market is going to be observing Christmas, so the market will be closed on Friday. So keep that in mind when you're buying your option contracts. If you're buying short-term option contracts for this week, that you'll have one less day for them to hit your profit target before they expire, okay? The next thing I want to show you real quick is the SPY. Here's the SPY zoomed in on the 4-hour chart. Now, I marked off some levels that are important to me. So as you can see here, I have this little red area right here. The SPY bounced 4 times off this area in the last few days. So I'm looking for it to hold this area right here. Now, if they come out with more negative news about the variant or whatever else, this market could continue to sell off. So if the market drops, the first level that I'm looking for it to hold is going to be around 453. If it gets into this red area, we'll be watching to see if it could hold this 449 area. Now these gray areas that I have in here are small gap fills that it could possibly try to fill. It's going to be interesting to see what the market does this upcoming week to see if this Santa rally is just not going to happen this year. So keep these levels in mind this upcoming week, okay? Okay, for the first one on the watch list for the week is going to be Crowdstrike, ticker symbol CRWD. Now here I have a Crowdstrike pulled up on the weekly chart, and since the beginning of the year you can see Crowdstrike has been consolidating, or it likes to hang out within this price range between $183 and $230. Now, as you can see right here, the last 2 weeks has been consolidating around this range here. So let's zoom in on the daily chart at this area. So I drew another box around this area right here. All right, and that's between $192 and $213. Let's zoom in one more time on the 4-hour chart. Take a look at this right here. So for this upcoming week, I don't see any new catalyst coming out for Crowdstrike to push it above $213. So I'll give you 2 price targets that I'm going to be watching. Okay, now if there's a bullish week, I can see Crowdstrike going up and testing this $213 before getting rejected. Now, if there's a bearish week and Crowdstrike can't hold this $205 level, that it comes down and tests this $192 level, okay? Now you might be looking at 205 to 213 saying that's only $8, but just keep in mind that if you buy a at the money call at $205 or so and it runs up $8 to $213, that'll be a nice profit. That'll be a lot of money to make just off one contract, okay? And on the other side, if you buy a at the money contract to the downside and it drops all the way down to $192, that's also a nice gain off one contract. So keep that in mind, okay? All right, next up is AirBNB, ticker symbol ABNB. Now, for those that are new to the channel, when I'm doing my charting, I use this color right here to show consolidation areas. So this area and this area would be consolidation areas. When you see gray on my chart, that's a gap that I'm looking to be filled, okay? Now for AirBNB, you can see since the end of May, it spent a lot of time consolidating in this area here before shooting up. It got hit kind of hard after its earnings, and with the news of the new variant, it sold off quite a bit until it sold off all the way back down here last week, and then bounced back up before closing around $158, okay? Now the fact that it bounced off of this zone right here, I'm looking at this whole area right here as a new demand zone where buyers come in and buy the stock back up. Okay, so let's zoom in on the 4-hour, zoom in on this area for this week, and let's look at the numbers that I'm looking at for this week. Now, AirBNB can hold $158 in the pre-market. I'm looking for it to come up and test this 161.50. If it can pass this, then the next level that I'm looking at is around $166. Okay. Now, if it's a bearish market this upcoming week and it cannot hold this $158 level, then I would try to short AirBNB once it gets past $153 down to $149.50 or so. If it can't hold $149.50, then the next level that I'll be looking at is around $145. Okay. All right, next up is Zoom, ticker symbol ZM. Here I have Zoom pulled up on the weekly chart. Now this consolidation area right here goes back as far as March 23rd of 2020. That's when the pandemic began and everybody started working from home, and Zoom consolidated in this area before shooting up as high as $588. Now once the vaccine news came out, Zoom has been steadily declining since then until this past 2 weeks, so I should say. You can see that it double bottomed right here around $174.75. So let's zoom in on this on the 4-hour. Zoom in on this area right here. See what numbers we're going to be looking at for this week right here. And you can see that it touched this $174.75 area a few times within the last few days. So I'm looking at this as a strong bounce level or support level for Zoom. Now, if more negative news comes out about this variant and the spread over the holiday season, then talks of lockdowns and that type of thing could make Zoom go ahead and start to shoot up again. So what I'm looking at for Zoom is if it could hold $200.75, then I'm looking for it to come up and test $211.50. If it can blow past that level, then the next level that I'll be looking at is $220.50. Okay, that's the bullish scenario. Now, if news comes out that says that this variant isn't as prevalent as they thought it would be and that everything's going to be all right, Zoom will continue to sell off. So if Zoom cannot hold 195.25, then I'm looking for it to come down to 178.75. If it can't hold that, then I'll be looking for it to come test this really strong support level around $174.75. Okay. All right, speaking of vaccine stocks, so just keep in mind that if more negative news comes out about these variants and whatnot, look for all of the vaccine stocks to take advantage of that, all right? And a lot of these have very high ranges associated with them. So if they run, they will run. If they sell off, they will sell off, okay? But if more negative news comes out about this variant and how it's going to affect the holidays and the economy and everything like that, look for these to go ahead and run. So they're pushing for more people to be vaccinated, okay? So that's going to include MRNA, Moderna. That's going to also include BNTX, all right? BNTX, and it'll also include Pfizer, which has been on quite a run the last few days, okay? Okay, the last one I want to take a look at is a request that I got from Twitter, and that's going to be for GAP, ticker symbol GPS. Now, going as far back as August of 2019, you can see that GAP consolidated within this range for weeks before selling off when the pandemic began. Okay, and then it did recover nicely and then it decided it wanted to sell off again. Now this big red candle right here is its last earnings, and it created this gap right here. Now it's back down in this consolidation range right here. So it's possible that these buyers that felt this was a fair price for this stock are back buying it again. Okay, but just keep in mind that it was in this range for quite a while, and then this happened. So it could consolidate in this range, and then that happens again, okay? So let's zoom in on the 4-hour on this one here and take a look at what we see for this upcoming week. Okay, now if GAP can hold 17.25, I'm looking for it to go ahead and shoot up and test around $18, okay? And keep in mind that this ticker has an average true range of around 80 cents for the month of December. That means within a day, it moves around 75 to 80 cents, okay? So in the bullish scenario, if it could hold 17.25, I'm looking for it to go ahead and test around $18. Okay. Now, if there's a bearish sentiment in the market and everything's selling off, if it can't hold 17.25, I'm looking for it to come down and test around 15.25. If it can't hold 15.25, then I'm looking for it to come down and test around 14.50. Okay. All right. So those are the levels for gap. All right. And that is the end of the video. Now, if you have a ticker you want me to take a look at, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll try to get to it. Now, here's wishing you a happy and healthy holiday season and a prosperous week of trading, okay? Until next time, talk to you later.